Is this all we've been doing all class? Sorry, I just...
Nope. I'm gonna leave it on this screen for a minute for people to copy down what they're doing, and then I'll jump back.
Okay.
And just kind of really quickly, all we did was talk about the units we're going to use, and especially the fact we're using the metric system. And then we read a piece of an article about when NASA lost $125 million Mars Climate Orbiter because one company used English units, gave their numbers to the other company, which was assuming that they were using metric. And when they went to deploy their parachute, the thing went splat on Mars' surface after years and years of work, 9 months of travel, and millions of dollars. So, most famous example of units going wrong. It will be the example for the rest of history. Okay, so because this is a PDF, it doesn't want to scroll my answers with me. So, can I erase everything on the screen?
No,
Not yet? Yep. Give me feedback and I will always pause when you still need it. Because there is a problem. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm forgetting. It's not here. It's on your homework. Because this one just does the more straightforward unit conversions, but on your homework I have some that are a little more complicated that I want to do before we depart. So we are going to do 1 or 2 problems from your homework before class lets out.
That's why you're my favorite.
Absolutely. Gage is sad about that. He's going, come on, Whitbeck. You're supposed to let me do the homework.
Is our homework just on Canvas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make things as simple for you as possible. So as I'm pulling up the homework, I'll show you what my system is. And it is a system that kind of developing as I go, just because this year is different. But now that I think I found a system that will make it super consistent for you to find what you need. All right, we ready to change screens? Give me a thumbs up if I can change screens. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear off all that. For everything we do, you're going to go to Modules. Pro tip, notice everything's open right now. I'm waiting and pausing, and then it just closed itself. This is just so to keep you from scrolling for all of eternity, especially as we get through the year, especially since we're doing modules by week. That's going to be scrolling forever. I do think by week 3, I'm going to start moving our current module to the top, though, to make it easier for you. But anyway, if you leave it open, when you leave Canvas, it will stay open the next time you log in. But if you're like me and you close it, it takes a moment, like you see, for it to close it itself. But then it will close the modules and just have open what you left open the last time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an overview of what we're going to cover over the week, just kind of a heads up of these are the topics. And then divided by date, and remember just because of A-Day, B-Day, and I do teach physics on both A-Days and B-Days, I'm going to have the 2 dates. I'll have the lesson. Attendance and participation is always just me putting in that you came to class and you participated. And then just everything that you have to do, though, will be under the header of the dates. Like, for next week, I do need to still organize this still. I'm still in the process of organizing. But notice next week we're going to start throwing quizzes in there, too. And the quizzes will be just everything will be due on Friday for quizzes. But yeah, I'm trying to keep things super organized. So you just have to find the date, and then everything under the date you're responsible for, except for attendance and participation. That part you just, by coming, you've already fulfilled that. Okay, what I'm going to, though, is your assignment. We're going to have you convert the following quantities. Here's some conversion facts. If there are any that you don't have here that you need, like I'm going to pick one on purpose. Yep, I'm going to pick one on purpose that I don't have the conversion fact for, just so I can show you how to do that. And I want to show you how to do a more complicated problem. So we're going to do number 14. gallons. Now, anytime you see the word per, super important for your math. In mathematical terms, what does the word per always mean? It's one of the 4 basic arithmetic functions out of add, subtract, multiply, divide.
Is it divide?
It is divide. Always. No exceptions. If you see the word per, it means divide. So if I see gallons per month, it means gallons divided by months. A trick to make word problems easier for both your math class and for classes like this. Alright, and I want to convert it into liters per hour. And I should move that equal sign over a little bit because I will, of course, need the number too. Now, I see here, I don't just have one unit converting into one other unit. What I see here is I've got 2 units that need to be converted, and realistically, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to arrange this so we need maybe a couple more steps than we've done before. But this is why I love these methods of conversion, because it's really not any more difficult than what we just did. So, Zach Ensign, before you fall asleep again, what do we want to convert first? What do you want to convert first? Gallons or months? And I don't care which.
Gallons.
Gallons? Okay. Alright, so I need to come up with an equivalence factor between gallons and, let's say, liters. Just go straight to that. Here, I have quarts and liters, but that's as close as I get. I have 2 options. I could go ahead and go from gallons to quarts, quarts to liters.
You could use your friend Google.
Or I could use my friend Google, and that was the one I wanted to go with. And I'd have to bring the screen down. Some of these controls are hidden by I've got where my screen sharing stuff is. So if I just type in gallons to liters, came up quick because I did it yesterday too. I get that 1 gallon is this many liters. And I love it because Google itself even will set it up as the equivalence statement for me. I'm just going to split screen this a little bit so I can make sure I get this. Okay, so 1 US gallon is equivalent to 3.78541 liters. And I can use that as my equivalence factor here. Now, what will go on the bottom? Gallons or liters? What goes on the bottom?
Gallons, right?
Yep, gallons. It's always the thing that's on the top.
On the top.
Because I want to get rid of it. And notice again, I'm not putting any numbers in yet. So now this gives me liters per month, but I want liters per hour. I personally don't know how many hours are in a month, but I do know other equivalences with time that can get me there. So let's start with just taking care. Let's get rid of the month. I'll say that much, and so I'm going to put month on top. What's something easy that we can convert months into that starts heading towards hours?
Days.
Days. On average, now I know it's not consistent, but on average, how many days would you say there are in a month?
30.
I think 30 is reasonable. So we're going to use that in 1 month, there are 30 days. I'll come back and I'll fill in the numbers in a little bit. I'm just going to focus on the equivalences, though. Just the units for a moment. Okay, now, I have my months now. They're canceling out. I have liters per days here. Still not quite what I want, because I want liters per hour. Do you have an equivalence that takes us from days to hours?
24.
24 days in an hour?
24 hours in a day.
There we go. So, set up one more. Put days on top so that the days will cancel. Always need one on top, one on bottom. And I'm left now with liters on top, and it's the only thing not crossed out. And hours on bottom, it's the only thing not crossed out. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my numbers in. And the only reason I do my numbers last, again, is if you do them first, it's easy to be more focused on that than the unit. And the unit's where you need to put your attention on these problems. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm just going to keep the parts that don't cancel. I have, put the equal sign in there too, I have 12,080. Both of the units here have canceled. I have times 3.78541. One on top, 30 on bottom. One on top, 24 on bottom. And then I have liters and hours. And remember, with multiplying fractions, you multiply top with top, bottom with bottom. I want you to go ahead and find for me what this will equal. We'll compare answers. And then once we have it, we'll call it a day. So using the calculator of your choice, would you please find for me what this will equal?
Is it 63.51?
I do not know, because I will...
How many decimal points you want? There's like a bunch, and I can keep going.
Well, not actually. I did not bring that up. I am not going to penalize you for sig figs this year. I know that every other science teacher ever will. But so long as you get comfortable with the math, sig figs can be something we deal with later. So I don't care how many decimal places you give me. Alright, but one thing that if you've had me before, you've heard this before. I don't believe any answer until I've heard it at least 3 times, because I want to make sure, like, with 3 people confirming it, I have more faith in it.
Okay, let me just make sure I'm doing this right, because it's been a while since I've done conversions. I divide bottom numbers and multiply top numbers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you would take 12,080 times it by 3.78541, and then divide it by 30 divided by 24.
Yep, and it depends on which calculator you're putting it into as to if you would do it exactly that way. There is a way to do it where you're focused on one division sign, multiple multiplication signs, but that does require some use of parentheses to do that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I had something completely different.
Well, and I can tell you yesterday we got something completely different, 2 different answers, and we're going to talk about why before I let you go, even though we're over just a little bit.
It's 12,080 times 3.78541.
Oh yeah, you need to divide by 30 and divide by the 24 also.
Oh, okay.
After you do that, let me know what you got.
I got 6.3, not bad, 63.5107, yada yada yada.
Okay, so that's 2 people with that answer.
Yeah, I got that as well.
That's 3 people.
That's what I...
Did anybody get, I think it was like 36,000?
I'm pretty sure that's what you get before you divide the 30 and the 24.
Actually, no. But you are correct that is the answer. But let me show you what people did yesterday.